Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Van Studios. Here's CDOT.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. We don't have a lot of time today, so I'm not going to get into all the particulars. Let's dive right into it. So, I'm usually working ahead and working on other things while the Royals have a day game. I'm watching the Royals a day game, but this is the time for us to secure some future interviews, get ready for the football season, think ahead a little bit. You know, you don't get that opportunity every day at 3 o'clock that I can start to figure out what our football plan is going to be. So I will admit that sometimes I'm not an active listener to everything that's going on. So I'm starting to kind of get things together, and I'm in the back. I'm not even listening to the post-game show. I'm going back. I'm doing some reading. I'm kind of mapping some things out for tomorrow and the rest of the week. You know, I'm thinking ahead. So I come in here, and I'm just trying to get a gauge and a temperature of the text line. I just want to see what the vibes are. People were talking about trading Salvador Perez. You're telling me this? No. I don't believe you guys. And I looked at Rob and I said, is this true? And he was like, yeah, I'll cut it for you. I'm like, for today? Didn't they win today? And they're talking about trading Salvi in the post-game show? Let's hear it.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I know this isn't be a fan favorite, but if the Royals truly, and J.J. Picola wants to run this like a business, this would be the best time to put a deal together with Lugo and Salvador Perez to make a trade, because Salvi's he's already won us a World Series. He's already been there. He's never going to have a month like this again.
Salvi has 10-5, right? So you can't trade him without him giving you the green light.
I think if he went to a contender, he would say yes, because he's in the sunset of his career. And I mean, sure, you trade him the Oakland A's, he'd say no. You trade him the Pittsburgh Pirates, no. But if you trade him to a contender like the Dodgers or somebody, he would say yes in a second. You know, because we will never get as much from Salvi, you know, as we are right now. Him and Lugo would set the Royals up for the next 4 to 5 years. And that's what you got to look at.
This is just one person's phone call. So I don't want to overreact to this phone call. I saw that it was very split on the text line. So again, I'm not here to overreact. The Royals had a good day. They won a series against one of the 5 best teams in Major League Baseball. We still are in that limbo of trying to figure out what they're going to do, but we are almost near the end. The trade deadline is on the 31st. It's the 23rd. We don't have that many days of having this conversation. If there is any player on the Royals that should be able to control whether they continue to work here or not, it's Salvador Perez. They have come to him multiple times for a trade, and he has said no every single time that he wants to be here. A lot of times I hear fans upset about player movement and lack of loyalty. We hate the transfer portal. We hate that NBA players jump teams to go team up with other guys. I hear the fans' complaint about it, and I think all of those things are fair. But we also have to, on the other side, acknowledge players who have stuck by an organization through thick and thin. I'm guessing it ain't been a whole lot of fun to play from the Royals from 2017 to 2023. I'm just going to go out on a limb and guess, especially when you've been at the mountaintop before. You're used to filet mignon, and you've been eating hamburger helper for the last 6-7 years as the Royals were getting their teeth kicked in nightly. If you bought a ticket to a Royals game back in 2021, you knew that one person from the old days was going to be there, and it was Salvador Perez. I am all for the Royals being open to trading a lot of people. And if Salvi wants to be traded, that's a different conversation. I think that at this point, Salvi gets to determine whether or not he wants to continue to be on the team or not. He's kind of like Travis Kelce. Maybe in an ideal world, you move on from Travis Kelce, but you're Travis Kelce. We want you around. We want you to finish your career in a Chiefs uniform. That's the way the business should work. I say this all the time. We want this to be a business for the owners. I want it to be a business for the players, but sometimes doing good business is also doing right by your best employees, and Salvador Perez has shown up every day and pushed for the Royals. So in no way am I open to the possibility? None, not even a little bit, in entertaining the possibility of trading Salvador Perez. They can trade a lot of people. I'm not interested in moving on from Salvador Perez. No sirree, not at all. Rob, another thing that I want to talk about today, I know we don't have a whole lot of time today, is this is something just to note. I don't know what it means. Could mean something, could mean nothing. But I do think this is something to note. Something very interesting is happening in training camp. The Chiefs didn't really take too many big swings outside of the organization. They really didn't. This was an offseason of retain. They kept a lot of their guys. They could have moved on from Kareem Hunt. They decided to keep him. They could have moved on from Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Nick Bolton, Dre Smith. Like, we can go up and down the list. For the most part, the Chiefs made the decision to run it back. Now, that makes a lot of sense. They won 15 games last year. They won the AFC. They went to the Super Bowl. I understand why the Chiefs don't really want a lot of massive overhaul. The Chiefs were not really major players when it came to free agency, but they did go get 2 players. Right now, they have one of their players playing at right tackle and not left tackle. Now, I don't know what happens whenever Jawan Taylor comes back. But as we talked about on this show, right now you have 3 people for 2 spots. Somebody has to go to the bench. Is that player Jawan Taylor? Is that player Jalen Moore? Maybe that player is Josh Simmons. But I do know one thing. Josh Simmons has been getting all of the left tackle reps at practice, and they have not been given that to Jalen Moore. Jalen Moore is currently playing a position that somebody else has, we believe. So that's something to note to me. One of their big swings in free agency for a team that didn't take a lot of swings is currently playing a player at a position we didn't expect him to play at. And we also think that he is one of the players who might be standing on the sideline during the game. So that's just something to note. The other player that they took a swing on was Christian Fulton, very talented corner, played for the Chargers the last couple of years. He's on the PUP list right now. He hasn't been practicing. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm looking out there and I'm like, this is the same team as last year. This team really isn't any different. This is the same team the Chiefs had in the Super Bowl with Josh Simmons at left tackle. This is the exact same team. Again, I'm not saying that's something. I'm not saying that it's nothing. I'm not saying that it's good or bad. Just something to note that as of right now, the 2 big swings that the Chiefs took in the offseason in a year in which they didn't really take a lot of swings, one of those players we believe is playing out of position, potentially, and playing at right tackle, and we think is a potential candidate to be left out of this conversation. The other player is Christian Fulton, a very talented corner that right now is just not healthy enough to be practicing with this team. Now, how long is Christian Fulton out? How long is Jawan Taylor out? Do those guys go back to getting their spots whenever they're back healthy? I would imagine that Christian Fulton is going to get it. It's corner. You kind of rotate those players. You're not really rotating at tackle. No, if you're the tackle, then you're the starting tackle. And if we take you out of the game, that means something has gone wrong. So for a training camp that doesn't have a whole lot of storylines, that doesn't have a whole lot of sizzle, I would say at this point, those are a couple of really good things to note. We've talked a lot about the offensive line position. It's their biggest situation with left and right tackle. The other thing is, they really took one swing on defense, and that player is currently not playing. This is the exact same defense as they had last season, which is the defense that finished top 5 in the National Football League, so obviously not a bad thing, but just something interesting to note as we are beginning training camp.
I feel like I think the results will tell us whether the story was right or wrong. Because right now, as far as the retention game goes, which is what the Chiefs did all offseason, I can easily explain to you how retention was great. They brought back a 15-2 team, They went to the Super Bowl. I can easily explain to you why retaining that group is a successful entity. I could also tell you how retaining was flawed, and they got a lot of one-score wins, which are inherently lucky. Ball bounces a different way, maybe you lose those one-score games. They also got walloped in the Super Bowl. It's also the plan the Royals had last offseason, and I saw the same fan base largely pan the Royals. I think we will have a better understanding of if it's a good or bad plan come Halloween, because right now it's July. optimism is abound. It was great. Everything is perfect. Win, 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 win. But it is possible that the retention plan is a bad plan. And I think we are waiting on the results to then use hindsight and say, oh, we should have seen this coming. Or, oh, see, look, they only needed, what they had last season. It was one bad game.
Text line 913-586-7965. Carrington, you're making a lot of assumptions after practice. Well, I think it's kind of twofold because I think we're talking about the offensive side and the defensive side. I don't really think it means anything on defense because I think when Christian Fulton is healthy, he'll just be part of the rotation. Like, I think we know enough about the Chiefs to say that we know that Trent McDuffie is going to be their number one, and who 2 through 4 is going to be kind of interchangeable based on schemes and looks and what they want to do defensively. I don't know if I'm making that big of an assumption on the offensive line. If you think that Jalen Moore is their starting left tackle for week 1, I would ask you, why is he playing right tackle right now? That's a legitimate question, right? If you were telling me that the plan, this could possibly be the plan, right? If the plan is when Jawan Taylor is back to then move Jalen Moore over to left tackle, I would ask, why are you not playing him at left tackle then right now? Why is that not the plan? Because that's what I would do if you're telling me that's the job you think he's going to have week 1 of the season when he comes back. Why is he currently not doing that during practice? This is the time to be playing left tackle. The assumption is we know all 3 of them will not start on this offensive line. So somebody is going to the bench. Maybe it's the guy that's currently on the bench with an injury. Maybe it's the rookie. Maybe it's the guy that they just gave $21 million to guaranteed this offseason. So you're right. Maybe it's an assumption. But I do think it is very interesting to me. If you think that Jalen Moore is their starting left tackle week 1 against the Chargers, then why is he not currently practicing at left tackle? We moved Joshua Simmons over to right tackle, and we're getting our left tackle work at the position. How they have configured the offensive line, I don't think is random. I do think means something, and we're simply trying to figure out what that could potentially mean for the Chiefs. We can keep talking about this, 913-586-7965. The Royals won today. The Chiefs are in training camp. Keep it locked in right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
For the first time in a long time, I'm willing to dream that this can be a special season for the Missouri Tigers.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
Summer is here, and that means longer days and warm nights, rooftop dinners, spontaneous getaways, vacation season, and romance is in the air. But if you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, all that excitement, it can feel like pressure and like you're missing out on something. Well, look, you're not alone. And more importantly, there's help that's out there, especially with my friends over at Heartland Men's Health. They specialize in ED treatments that work even when the pills and the herbals don't, with a success rate of over 90%. Some guys even last an hour or more. Summer should feel unforgettable, romantic, confident, not stressful. If your sex life is just good enough, then why should you settle? Your first visit is just $99, including a full medical consult, testosterone, and a PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if it doesn't work right there in the office, then your visit is on the house. Visit the website, heartlandmenshealth.com. With offices in Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City, you can get back in action as soon as tomorrow. Don't let ED steal your summer away. Reclaim it, and you can do that with Heartland Men's Health.
Transform your home with the power of KC. Powell Exteriors KC. Powell Exteriors KC will create the perfect custom deck or patio cover to keep you cool, comfortable, and loving life outside. Get your free estimate now, and you could be enjoying your new deck or patio in a matter of weeks. Siding, windows, roofing, they do it all. This time of year, it's all about decks, cover, and shade. Go to PowellExteriorsKC.com to schedule your free estimate today. It's the power of KC. Powell Exteriors KC, Kansas City's exterior experts. Numerous brands to choose from, endless options, one incredible experience. At Aristocrat Motors, we treat every driver like royalty and offer the finest luxury vehicle experience in Kansas City. Come see us today and let us roll out the red carpet for you.
If you love finding the deal and a bargain brings you bliss, the Hy-Vee 5-Day Sidewalk Sale is cause for celebration. This Wednesday through Sunday, stock up and save big on dozens of pantry staples, like Roma pizzas, 4 for $10, Pepsi 24 packs, $9.99, Frito-Lay's chips, just $1.99, Gatorade 8-pack bottles, just $5.99, and Sunbelt granola bars, 4 for $10. Hurry to the huge 5-Day Sidewalk Sale this week, only at Hy-Vee.
Even though it's summertime, everybody's still busy, and that's where Hy-Vee Market Grill comes in. They've got the best dining value in town. Every day, they've got a meal deal from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And for $8 per person or less, you can treat the whole family to dinner, like smoked chicken Monday, pork chop Tuesday, cheeseburger and fries on Wednesday, and chicken enchiladas on Friday. And don't forget Steak Thursday with a perfectly seasoned steak, garlic mashed potatoes, and sweet corn for $12. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it's only at Hy-Vee Market Grill.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Brought to you by America's largest pickleball festival, PickleCon. PickleCon presents pickleball like you've never seen it. PickleCon takes over Kansas City August 7th through 10th. Tournaments, clinics, puppy yoga, glow-in-the-dark play, and more. Register now at picklecon.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Had a big wreck down south, 69 southbound, the on-ramp from 159th, blocking the right lane. And in Liberty, that's a wreck, 35 northbound, just past 291 Highway, blocking the right lane. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan.
Hey Kansas City, it's Bobby Witt Jr. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
I want to read this text. This early in camp, I think the Chiefs want to see Simmons at left tackle and see if Moore can play right tackle while Taylor is hurt. Once Taylor comes back, I believe Simmons will go to the bench. Moore will move over to left tackle. Now, if we get through the second preseason game and it's like this, then I change my mind. I don't think that that is a bad way to think. I guess I'm looking at it from this sense. If the Chiefs have determined that they're starting week 1 lineup, I don't know if it's been determined. I've kind of treated it this entire offseason like it has been determined. But if the Chiefs have stated that when everybody is healthy, Jalen Moore is their starting left tackle, I'd be playing him at left tackle currently during practice. You don't get a lot of chances for real live reps as an offensive lineman. This is a really important time for an offensive lineman. This offensive line structure leads me to believe that tomorrow, if they had to play a game, this would be their left tackle arrangement. This is how they would operate. And if something goes wrong this season, this would be their offensive line arrangement. So obviously it's early. They've only had 2 practices. I'm not coming to some grand conclusion, but I do think it's pretty interesting. I mean, they are giving Simmons all of the left tackle 1 reps. If Jalen Moore is your left tackle 1, when do you plan on putting him back over there? You're not at St. Joe for an infinite amount of time. You get 3 weeks up there. You're going to give Jalen Moore 4 or 5 practices at left tackle, and then we're throwing him back out there? Like, I think this could be the plan. Certainly possible. If you're telling me that it's 3 of them and only 2 of them can start and the best man may win, maybe they're telling us who they think the best 2 tackles on the team are, and Juwan Taylor is the break in case of emergency swing tackle. I mean, we see guys lose their job to injuries all the time. Maybe I've been off on this thing, and I've thought because of the contract, because of the salary, that they were just going to put him on the field. Like, maybe that's not the case. So just something to watch. I don't think there's a lot of things to really watch with this team right now. We kind of know everybody On defense, we kind of know everybody. Yes, they lost Justin Reed. They replaced them with guys that were on the team last year. Like right now, the defense that they are trotting out there is the exact same defense that they had last season. It ain't much new with the team. The only thing new, for the most part, is the configuration of the offensive line and how they're handling it and how they're playing it that way. So I think that's just something to note. I do want to make this point really quickly, Rob. I know we don't have a lot of time in the show today, and we'll get to this more in depth tomorrow. No good news about Hollywood is always a good thing. You know what I don't want? I don't really want to hear anything about Hollywood Brown, good or bad. Like, nothing. Like, I don't want to see any of those. Nothing. I'm happy. Hey, let all the stories be about Rashee Rice. Let all the stories be about Xavier Worthy. I saw the undrafted free agent. Was it Bringenstool? I saw that he got some tight end 1 reps today. They threw it to him a couple of times. I'm fine with Hollywood Brown just staying low key, staying out of the news, staying out of the way, and staying healthy and getting through training camp. I mean, you were doing that for the most part last year. You then played a game and injury happens. We all know how that derailed this season. I'm treating Hollywood Brown like no news is good news. That's the news that I want. Hey, you know who's having a solid camp that we haven't spent a lot of time talking about? Hollywood Brown. He's just coming in, being a pro, making a good catch, being a good leader on the sideline, participating in the drills, being encouraging, being a veteran. That's all I want from Hollywood Brown. I don't want to spend a lot of time this offseason talking about Hollywood Brown. I think where we are right now is exactly where we need to be. No news is good news when it comes to him.
And you're referring to that with his health mostly, because isn't that the $1 million question? Isn't that always the thing with Hollywood Brown? Because I feel like this, we always in camp, I always get painted as the negative one because I say things like this and people hear it and they get mad. Hollywood Brown's going to get hurt this year. It has happened almost every year of his career.
That's crazy.
So you know what? I am very happy. I agree with you. If we aren't going to spin the wheel of misery and it hit Hollywood Brown and it's like a 2 or 3 week injury and during the season, that's much better than last season or a training camp injury that could nag. Like, Hollywood Brown to me is the epitome of just no news is good news with health. We've had no health issues up at St. Joe. Now, they've only had 2 practices. They haven't put pads on yet. But just conceptually, Hollywood Brown will be hurt at some point this season. So you know what? Healthy Hollywood Brown is my favorite Hollywood Brown. Keep him in bubble wrap up in St. Joe if you have to.
I'm with you. No, I'm saying that's exactly where I think they should be. That's exactly where I want them to be. I don't want us to spend a lot of time talking about Hollywood. I want him just flying in under the radar, just doing your job, being steady, being a good leader, staying healthy, and being on the field. That is what they need from Hollywood Brown. He changes their offense, in my opinion. Just having him around, having him available, the threat of his speed, yards after catch underneath, that's where he is dangerous. That's where he is viable. And if we are talking about not having Rashee Rice for the early portion of the season because of a possible suspension, having that 1-2 punch with Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, you also got Travis Kelce in the mix. You have an improved run game. I saw some clips earlier today. Isaiah Pacheco was running like the Isaiah Pacheco of old. That's just the best possible scenario for this Chiefs offense. I know we had a short show today. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. We'll dive far more in depth to the Chiefs offensive line, also training camp. We will be a week away from the Major League Baseball trade deadline. What does that mean for the Kansas City Royals? A lot of things to get into tomorrow's show. I hope to hear you guys tomorrow. Hope you're back. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, your home for the best food takes in KC.
Regular old American nachos. You know, I don't need jalapenos with mine, just chips, cheese.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.